I was on a U.S. Airways flight from Philadelphia to Los Angeles, and I was sitting in coach. I always, leadership of the Federation, Secretary-Treasurer Schuler flies coach, unless we were fortunate enough to get bumped up. I didn't get bumped up. I was sitting in seat 10C, so I was right in the bulkhead. I mean, Wilt Chamberlain could have laid down on the floor in front of me. I had a lot of room, and what was really cool is the seat next to me, the middle seat, was open. We were getting just about ready to back out, and I was getting ready for a 4.5-hour flight and had all day to work. And just about before we pulled away, I heard this hustle and bustle up towards the front of the plane. I prayed, but it didn't do any good, went unanswered. That person that was coming on at the last minute that they held the plane for, that was trying to stuff their luggage in the overhead bin, sat down right next to me. And I could tell that, again, there was just a lot of commotion. It seemed like a lot of people were looking at the person, but I was busy. I was actually addressing holiday cards. I said a couple of weeks ago, this was actually in October. The middle of October is October 12th. I write a lot of holiday cards, okay? So you talk about old school, I write them longhand. So I have to get started early. So I'm writing holiday cards. This person sits down next to me. Again, she seemed to be drawing a lot of attention, but man, I was focused on my work. I didn't even look at her. Other people seemed to be looking at her. I wasn't looking at her, okay? A couple people came and kneeled down in front of her, guys, and started talking to her after we had taken off. And I was just eavesdropping and heard that she was a model in France, living in Paris. I don't know, I was thinking, just as I was listening, maybe she wasn't that good because she was sitting in the middle seat in coach. But that was her story. And we weren't long into the flight, and I saw her take out her laptop once we could use electronic devices. And again, and then I saw her take out her credit card. And I just thought, you know, I'm wondering how bright this gal is. Looks to me like she thinks she's going to shop at 35,000 feet or something. But she opens her laptop, starts working. Pretty soon she's picking up the laptop, picking it up, kind of waving at it, giggling, and then she's moving the laptop around like this, kind of in circles. And then I'm still writing away, but I just glance up at the laptop and I see my image on the face of that screen, along with a bunch of other people's image. Didn't think so much about it. I was still doing my thing, writing my cards. Her battery went dead. She closed up. And this is probably now almost 2 hours into the flight. She looks over and she just I could tell she was leaning over, but I was still sort of ignoring her. And she says, in kind of this French accent, which I can't do, you know, "What are you doing?" How was that? That sounded better than when I practiced it, actually. And I said, "I'm writing holiday cards." Probably, you know, I sounded somewhat annoyed. She goes, "What's that?" I said, "Holiday cards, you know, like you write during the holiday?" And she goes, "For what holiday?" And I said, "For the Christmas holidays coming up here, the holiday season." She goes, "That's 2 months away." I said, "Yeah, I know, I'm hip to that, but I got to write 300 of them. It takes me a lot of time. I fill them all out. I'm very proud of this. Is my thing. It takes me a couple of months." And she goes, "That is crazy." She goes, "I have just been communicating with people all over the world with my computer in real time." She goes, "I was showing pictures of you, typing in that I'm sitting next to some crazy guy that's writing and writing." Okay. She goes, "Why are you doing that?" And I said, "Well, again, I'm quite a bit older than you are, probably like double your age. And I said, where I come from, you know, I like to think it's kind of nostalgic. And I said, people still like getting these cards." And she was laughing, and other people in the plane were listening and kind of laughing. And then she's just looking over and she goes, "What kind of phone do you have?" Now I was feeling pretty cool because I had just been issued from the Federation we have this agreement with AT&T, and I just got the new BlackBerry Torch. So I pulled out my torch. I said, "I got a BlackBerry Torch." And she started busting up. She goes, "I knew it." She goes, "That is like a bicycle compared to my rocket ship." And held up her iPhone. So now I got an iPhone.